We live in the golden age of self-improvement. We track our sleep, optimize our diets, gamify our focus, and structure our lives around meticulous 5-year plans. Every single action we take today is treated as an investment into some future, superior version of ourselves. We're obsessed with the idea that if we can just tweak our routines enough, we can master our lives. But have you ever actually stopped to ask, what happens when we get there? What happens when you hit that target weight, clear the inbox, secure the promotion, and realize the horizon just moved another 5 miles away? What happens when you realize the finish line that you've been sprinting towards doesn't actually exist? In 1942, in the middle of a world collapsing into war, a young French philosopher named Albert Camus looked at this exact human compulsion, this exhausting drive to build order out of a world that offers no guarantees, and he came to a terrifying conclusion. He called it the absurd, and he argued that until you face it, you aren't actually living, you're just acting. Camus didn't ease his readers into this concept gently. He opened up his masterwork, The Myth of Sisyphus, with a line that still hits like a brick today. He said, "There is but one truly serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide." Camus wasn't trying to be an unhinged nihilist. He was being intensely, ruthlessly practical. Think about it. We spend our entire lives debating secondary questions, politics, economics, what career path to choose, or how to invest our money. But Camus points out that all of these questions assume something we haven't actually proven. They assume that living is worth the effort in the first place. Every single morning we sacrifice our time, energy, and mental health. Why? Because we are following a script. We tell ourselves we are doing it for a reason. We say, tomorrow I will be happy, next year things will make sense. By doing this, we treat our future as our savior. But Camus points out the deep irony here. Tomorrow is not your savior. Tomorrow is your executioner. Every day you look forward to is just a day closer to your eventual demise. When you strip away the distractions, you are left with the raw truth. We put an immense amount of energy into an existence that ends in a blank screen. So Camus asks, if life has no cosmic guarantee, why do we keep pushing? For most of our lives, the sheer momentum of habit keeps us moving. Habit hides the void. But then out of nowhere, something happens. Camus calls this the moment where the stage scenery collapses. It doesn't have to be a tragedy. It can happen on a totally ordinary Tuesday. You're standing in a supermarket aisle holding a box of cereal or sitting at a red light, and a sudden, violent wave of detachment hits you. The thoughts creep in. What am I doing here? What's the point of this? The word why arises and everything begins. You realize the meaning that we attach to things are completely fabricated. A dollar bill isn't inherently valuable, it's just a piece of paper we all agree to pretend has power. Your job title isn't a fundamental part of your identity, it's a temporary arrangement of words. This is the birth of feeling absurd. But let's be precise. The absurd is not the idea that life is meaningless. That is nihilism, and Camus was not a nihilist. The absurd is a relationship. It's a collision between two things. Number one, the human mind, which has an incurable craving for meaning, order, and clarity. And number two, a cold, silent, vast universe that provides absolutely none. The absurd only exists in the white-hot friction between the two. It's the fact that you want answers and the universe refuses to speak. Once you realize you're trapped in this collision, you can't just unsee it. Camus argues that humanity historically tries to run through two major escape hatches, and he slams both of them shut. The first is physical suicide. Camus rejects this instantly because it doesn't solve the problem, it just avoids it. If the absurd is a confrontation between a human and a silent universe, killing yourself just ends the confrontation. It's a total surrender. So most people turn to the second escape hatch, philosophical suicide, or the leap of faith. This is when you realize life has no inherent meaning, so you panic and invent one to make yourself feel safe. Historically, this was religion. In modern life, it looks like secular dogmas. Think about hustle culture. It tells you that you must sacrifice your youth, work 80 hours a week, and maximize your productivity. You will achieve ultimate salvation in the form of financial freedom. It assigns a divine meaning to a bank account number. Think about the self-improvement complex. The belief that you can just optimize your morning routine and fix your habits, you can eliminate anxiety forever. Camus calls this philosophical suicide. You're constructing a false ceiling over your head so you don't have to look at the infinite, terrifying sky. You're trading your freedom for a comforting illusion. So what's left? Camus says we must choose to live completely within the tension. No illusions, no escapes, just raw confrontation. To explain what this looks like, Camus brings in the myth of Sisyphus. Sisyphus was a king who defied the gods. He tricked death, chained up the god of war, and insisted on loving the physical world more than the divine order. As a punishment for his arrogance, the gods condemned him to an eternity of meaningless labor. He had to push up a massive boulder up a mountain, and every single time he neared the peak, the weight of the stone would overwhelm him and it would roll right back down to the bottom for all of eternity. Sisyphus is us. Think about your own life. You answer your emails, clear your plate, do the laundry and sleep. And what happens the next morning? The plate is dirty again, the inbox is full again, we push our boulders up the hill every single week, only to watch them roll back down on Sunday night. If you measure the value of Sisyphus' life by his achievements, his life is completely worthless. He builds nothing permanent. But Camus doesn't focus on the climb, he focuses on the walk back down. In that brief window of time, Sisyphus is entirely conscious. He has no illusions that this next time, the boulder will stay at the top. And Camus argues that this exact moment of total clarity is the moment Sisyphus becomes stronger than his punishment. By looking at the reality of his eternal grind, accepting it, and choosing to put his hands on the rock anyway, he performs an act of supreme rebellion. He tells the gods, "You can make me push this rock, but you cannot make me suffer from it. I own this effort." As Camus famously concludes, the struggle towards the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Because Sisyphus discovered the secret to defeating the absurd, and that is living without hope. In our culture, hopelessness is treated as a disease. We are told that hope is a virtue, that we must always hope for a better tomorrow. But hope is a trap. Hope is what keeps you chained to the future. Hope is what you say, "I will be happy when." When you abandon hope that the universe will eventually provide you with a neat, tidy meaning, the pressure vanishes. There is no grand cosmic plan. There is no cosmic judgment. There is no benchmark you are failing to hit. If life has no inherent meaning, it means nobody else can dictate what your life is supposed to look like. The canvas is blank. You don't need to justify your existence by changing the world or becoming a billionaire. The value of life isn't found at the top of a mountain. The value is found in the pushing. Camus called this absurd freedom. You stop trying to earn a safe future and instead you live entirely in the raw intensity of the present moment. Modern life feels absurd because we are trained to obsess over the outcomes, the metrics, the bank accounts, the status symbols. We treat the present moment as fuel to burn for the sake of tomorrow. But Albert Camus offers a radical alternative. The next time you find yourself stuck in a pointless meeting or staring at a sink full of dirty dishes for the 1000th time, change your perspective. Stop looking at the top of the mountain. Stop waiting for the day when it all finally makes sense. Look at the rock in front of you. The rock is your life, the effort you put into it, the care you give to people around you, the intentionality you bring to your day. That is your defiance. You don't need a cosmic guarantee to find joy in existence. The act of living fully, spitefully, and intensely in a silent universe is the ultimate victory. The mountain is yours, the rock is yours. Now go push it. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this philosophical episode. I've got lots of other videos like this on my YouTube channel, so please check it out. See you next time.